Hello, welcome to Grow Your Yoga. My name is Todd McLaughlin. I'm here at Native Yoga Center in Juno Beach, Florida. I'm happy to offer these free tutorials every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern. You can join, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. Today, I want to teach you how to practice, how to practice extended side angle posture. Extended side angle pose, in Sanskrit, the terminology or the name is Utthita Parsvakonasana. Utthita references extended or reaching through the limbs of the body. Parsva means side, and kona means angle. Utthita Parsvakonasana. Okay, let's begin. So in Utthita Parsvakonasana, this is a pose that is specific, this alignment, to Ashtanga Yoga. And so the way that we would enter is from Samasthitihi, taking a wide step to the right and reach the arms apart. So once you assume this wide foot stretching apart position, the setup is very similar to a pose known as Warrior B or Virabhadrasana B. So I'm going to go to the right first. You turn your right toes out and pivot on the right heel. And work on aligning your two heels along the same line. I'm going to turn and face towards you so you can see the line of the rug that I have here on my mat. For my Utthita Parsvakonasana, I'm going to start off with my heels on that line. The next thing is to bend the right knee. And often the big question, because where we're headed here in Utthita Parsvakonasana, is to land the palm on the floor and extend our arm overhead. So one of the big questions is, how wide should my feet be? One of the answers to this question is wide enough that when you come into the lunge, your right side knee, your thigh bone comes down parallel to the floor, and your right knee is somewhere close to above your heel. In other words, my feet aren't too narrow so that when I bend, my knee is way out in front of my big toe, and I don't want to go too wide so that when my knee is bending, my knee is way back behind my heel. I'm going to try to find a level of width with my feet where when I bend my right knee is pretty much above the heel. And of course, there's some room for some variation. Ultimately, in every pose, when you start investigating, well, how wide can I go? A lot of it depends on your level of flexibility. Now notice what happens, the muscles here on the inside edge of the knee coming up to the groin, which is called the adductors, we keep the back leg really strong and straight. And so as we work the bend of the front knee, this lengthens this line here. So it's a great way to stretch and open up the inner thighs. So also, because you're holding your strength and balance in the pose, you have to strengthen your leg muscles. So this pose is an excellent balance of leg strength and flexibility. All right, so now that we've analyzed what to do with the legs and the width and the distance, the next thing is to, well, what happens with the upper body and the arms? So if we assume this Warrior B shape, and I bring my left elbow down onto my knee, this is a great starting position. Two options here can be to either put the hand onto the knee or to put the elbow onto the knee. And this makes it significantly easier in the beginning. And then with the right arm in this case, because I'm going to the left, I'm actually going to outstretch my arm above the head. Now, my right shoulder, we're going to utilize what's called external rotation. I'll turn this way. External rotation is where we turn and rotate the shoulder externally, as opposed to rolling the shoulder internally. So that when I come into the pose, often what happens, we see this internal kind of scrunching of the shoulder up around the ear. And what we'll do, I'm going to turn my thumb, I'm going to spin it upward, and this will laterally or externally rotate the shoulder, and it's going to create a little bit of space around the shoulder and the arms. It's a lot like holding anatomical position while you're with your arms above your head. So, all right, now, where are we headed? One of the goals is to bring our palm down on the floor with our fingertips pretty close to level with the toe tips. In other words, I set up for my Utthita Parsvakonasana. I've kind of figured out my distance, about how wide to go. I turn my right foot out. I'm going to bend my right knee. My first challenge is to bring my right elbow down onto my right thigh. And then the next thing I'm going to try to do is bring my right hand to the floor. And this is where it gets tricky. We try to bring our hand down. We aim to bring our hand onto the outside edge of the right foot so that the right knee will land on the inside edge. Now, there are variations in the pose where some people teach it with the hand on the inside edge. That's totally fine. I'm just kind of focusing on the Ashtanga style and some of the alignment techniques within Ashtanga. All right, so we aim to bring the hand down. One thing you can do, though, is use a little intermediary process of the block, which can either be at this height, or this height. And so in the process of coming down, I have my block ready in my hand. I bend into the right knee, and I can plant the block onto the ground right beside the outer edge of my foot. This way you can actually lean against the arm that is braced against the floor. You can put pressure into that. Because what we're attempting to do, often the buttocks or the hips will stick out and the chest and body will come forward and down. So what we're going to attempt to do is bring the right hip in line with the front knee. And at the same time also lean some pressure down against the hand on the floor and take the shoulder up so the chest opens up toward the side wall. So let me show you on the other side. Again, if I use for Utthita Parsvakonasana, I bend the knee. I'm going to take the block a little bit lower now since I'm a little more warmed up. I can really lean pressure because what we can think of is that you have three main points of contact. You have your back foot, your front foot, and your hand on the floor. And between your arm and your front foot, we'll put about 50-50 pressure, about 50% of the pressure. Now, when I release my hand, 100% of pressure is on this leg. I'm going to bring my hand out and lean against it. And I'm going to balance in between pressing with my arm and my foot. So both are bearing down nice and firm so that when we take the shoulder above, we're really able to open up the chest toward the side. And then again with the shoulder, I'm going to attempt to rotate external rotation. And my drishti, my focal point, is to look up toward my hand. All right, let's try the other side again. Now I'm going to go into the full position, turn the right toes out, bend into the right knee. Plant the right palm flat on the floor on the outer edge of the right foot, fingertips level with toe tips. Now to get my side body in line with, I'm going to drop into the bend of the right knee and drop the hips down. The whole time I'm not going to let my back knee bend at all. I'm going to keep my leg really straight and strong and now try to extend the line from my left foot all the way to the left hand as strong and long as possible. So this way you're really extending through the side of the body. Again, the other side, the right foot turns in, the left toes turn out. Remember, you can always land your elbow on your thigh, and you can emphasize just the ability to bend the knee and to keep the back leg straight. Make it a priority to press the outer edge of your right foot. In this case, the right leg is straight, so the outer edge of the right foot. Make it a priority to put pressure onto the outside edge. Sometimes what I'm getting at is don't let the outer edge of your foot kind of lift off the floor and bend your knee. Straighten your leg, press the outer edge of the foot down into the floor. Now, I'm going to concentrate and focus on squeezing this right thigh, not letting that relax, and bend the left knee at the same time, letting the hips come down. And then if the opportunity to bring the palm flat on the floor is apparent or evident, and then I'm going to attempt to push my hips forward toward you and pull my right shoulder back so that we're opening up the right side body, aligning the right shoulder above the left, rotating the neck, and looking up toward the hand as the drishti or the focal point. I can fine-tune it, maybe go a little deeper with my stance and work a little deeper into the bend of my knee and really stretch through the body. So it's an excellent pose for lengthening out the sides of the body, a great posture for strengthening your hips and increasing your flexibility. Hold the pose for longer and longer periods of time to really challenge your focus, to build heat, austerity, tapas. Remember to breathe through your nose. Mouth stays closed. Breathe through the nose. Ujjayi breath. Breathe with sound through your throat. Now, a couple of other things I want to point out here. I'm going to turn and face towards you so you can analyze. And then when you work with your own position, Now, when you're practicing at home and you're working alone, you can set yourself up in front of a mirror if that helps. Like that can give you a little bit of an idea. The other way that you do is just use your proprioceptive skill. In other words, use your awareness of your body and space and how to align it so you feel it as opposed to just measuring off of what it looks like. So a really important factor is to keep breathing and regulate your heart speed. Try to keep your nervous system in a nice chill realm, not revved up too much, and you do this just by practicing the pose. All right, so sometimes what I'll see is hand is on floor, and there's a big gap here, and this foot's over here, and we're really leaning on the arm. This is where we want to make sure that this foot, we actually are bearing weight down on the foot, and we're going to attempt to try to get our shoulder and knee side by side. Seal this together nice and firm. So think of this as like one foot, and this is another foot, and they're just side by side. So as you work the bending of the knee, you keep this nice and secure, nice and tight. And now another thing that happens usually, I mentioned before, the hips stick out. So I'm going to try to push my hips behind the knee. And then usually when I do that, my body comes down. So the counter leverage here is to raise your shoulder and press your hips at the same time and really expand and open up your side body. And when you breathe, breathe really deep, because when you have your arm above your head and you're pushing the energy over into the side of your chest, you can emphasize, in this case, left side chest and lung. Deep breath in. And really expand the intercostal muscles. The muscles in between each of your ribs are called your intercostals. And so these can get tight and dense, and sometimes we don't breathe deeply, we breathe shallow. So try to breathe really deep while you're in the pose. Pump air in and out of your body. And this way you're going to generate some heat, you're going to feel some sweat, and at the same time really expand and bring a ton of energy into your body just through the breath and the holding of the pose. Do you have any questions? If you do, all you got to do is type it in the box. I'll answer them. Remember, check us out on our website, nativeyogacenter.com. On there, you're going to find links to signing up for classes with us in studio and or on live stream on our platform, Mind Body Online. You're also going to see a link there for you to sign up for online classes and courses. That'll take you to nativeyogaonline.com. Have all of our daily classes that we teach here at Native Yoga Center stored up into a library. There's over 600 classes on there. You can practice from your phone, tablet, computer, anywhere in the world. The other thing I'd like for you to check out is Native Yoga Toddcast. Every Friday, I release a new episode. I'm up to episode 166 this week. There's so much great instruction on there. Listen to all these different yoga teachers around the world. We have so much to share. I promise you, you can grow your yoga. Don't get stuck. Don't give up. Keep learning. Keep striving, breathing, and practice every day. Listen to your body. Have a little fun as well. All right. Have a great day. If you have some questions, I'm going to check in to see. All right. I must have answered all of your questions for you. Yay, that's my hopes. All right. Have a great day.